has your life experience made you the leader you are today?
I think every person and what they go through make them what they are. And I think whether you go through bad times or good times, that is the person that you are. And I think I've learned from the bad times to go through them and endure those times, and in good times to enjoy them. And I think one needs to be the person that you are and then celebrate those good times and tell people about your bad times so they can also learn from it, and then lead and tell people that they have to be the persons that they are and enjoy life. Most of all, I think the better thing to do is to love your life and learn from the mistakes you made through life and enjoy that.
So do you think that women are collaborators? They're more inclusive and they encourage cooperation?
Yes, I think women, I want to say that I think it's difficult to say women are different leaders than men, but I would say that I think women are different in their style. I think women tend to be more softer in their approach, and I think women are caretakers. I think men are hunters, women are gatherers, and I think that is normally what is different about women. Men is in skills, and I think women in skills are the same, and I think therefore we can't say we're different in skills as leaders, but in our approach we are different, and I think that makes us as women I think great, if I can say that.
We've got different soft skills.
Yes, especially when you look at mothers, they are caring. I think we've got that approach of looking after people.
Women tend to juggle roles, so how do you keep a work-life balance?
Very difficult. It's very difficult to do that, and I think you have to teach yourself to do that. I think when you start getting into business, I think women tend to find it very difficult, especially when they have children. You have to really find that good place where you can be. And I think it's very difficult when you start up, and if you don't ensure that you do that, I think you can burn out easily. So I would advise women to really find that spot of saying, when I get home, I will look after my children. And I always say, what I've done is to say that if you look at a coat hanger, I always say to myself, this is what you have to do. You have to, when you get to work, you have to sort of say, I put my family life behind me. And when I'm at work, I just focus on my work life. And as soon as I drive back home, I said I put my coat hanger of the work at work. And if you get home, don't think about work, just then focus on your family. But I think the hours that you work is also very difficult. So I think one needs to say, let me work hard at home, work and hard at home to have that good balance. But I think because women have to also tend to their families, you don't get home and there's good food for you at home. You have to also cook, you have to look at your family. And I think the biggest thing that women needs to do is to say, what can I do at home? And I think the wonderful thing today is that women have got husbands that look after their family as well. I think that has changed over the years, and I think that's the wonderful thing, that you've got a family that take care, and you have to sort of split those roles between husband and wife when you do have families. But it's hard, it's not easy, so you have to really plan that well.
What do you think is the biggest challenge for women in the workplace?
I think there's quite a few. I think because women are not naturally, it doesn't come to us naturally to be assertive and to be hard at work. I think that's one of the biggest challenges, to say I'm now putting my business suit on and I have to not think with my heart but with my head. I think that's one of the challenges, because we're naturally very emotional. So I think one of the challenges is to think with your head and to stay calm and to get emotions out of the way. I think that's one of the big challenges. And I think the other one would be is to also find a mentor at work and to say, how can I improve my business skills? How can I understand what the business is all about? And get someone that can help me, say what's my skills that I don't have that's too strong, and then improve on those. I think for men it comes naturally to be in a business environment, and they sort of get it more easily than women. So I think those are the things that we have to work on and say, I want to be here and I want to grow. And I think that sometimes when you look at women in the workplace and they grow in their positions, they sometimes get a bit more harsh. And I think women should stay the women they are. They shouldn't get harsh and not still be a woman. So I think those are challenges we have to work on.
That is a challenging balancing act.
Yes.
How has mentorship made a difference to you in your professional career?
I think I was very lucky that my mother was very strong in business, and we were 5 children that she had to look after and had a good business life. So I watched her carefully as from a child how she managed that, and she was a very good business person but also a very loving mother. And I think that made it easier for me to understand that role. But also in work I had a very good boss that had a wonderful sense of saying that women should be leaders, and he really helped me a lot to say that what is the things that I shouldn't do and do in business. And I think mentorship is one of the things that I think women should always look at, to say, who do I aspire to be, and then try and set up sessions and say, what do you see in me that's not good, and then improve on that. Because I think you will never know what's not right if you don't ask people. And how do they experience you? Because you have to grow in your role, and you will never know what you're good at or not if you don't ask people. And they will tell you, and you have to grow in your role as a leader.
Which female leaders do you admire, and why?
I think one of the female leaders that I really admire, and I saw a movie about her lately, was Margaret Thatcher. I think for me that was one of the things that she did, is she really went into that market where there was no women as Prime Minister, the first one in Great Britain, and she had to really just work with men. And in that market where she said, I believe in a free market, it was so difficult, and she had to endure a lot of stress in her life. But she did it, and for me it was to say that women can go into markets where no woman has ever been, and been very successful. And I admire her for her strength of just going forward where people just said you will not make it. And I'm a very big fan of her.
She achieved a lot.
Yes.
She really did.
Yeah.
What do you want to accomplish personally and professionally in the next year?
Oh, that's a tough question. I think let's start professionally. I think for me, Europ Assistance is a fantastic company, and I think the people that work here I think we've got stars in this company. If I look at the people and how happy they are and what we have, personally I think what I want to do here is to make this company one of the top companies to work for. I think we have to, as leaders in this company, ensure that our people have got a wonderful workplace and that they want to work here. And I think we've started off with some of the stuff this year to say, let's look at salaries, let's look at pension funds. But more than that, we have to really work hard to give our people something to say. We're proud to work for a company that gives back. So I think for me personally, that's something that I strive for, is to give back to the company. Personally, I want to be more that balance of work and play. So I love fun. I love things to do and have more fun. I don't get to the fun part. I love to paint. It's one of the things that I love most. I do poetry and paint, so I want to this year paint more. I haven't painted in the last year, so if I can do that again, I'll be happy. Okay. So those are the things I want to do.
Excellent. And what advice or inspiration would you offer in the workplace or in life in general?
I think not to take things so seriously. I think we always are so serious about things, and my advice would be is, like again, I think men do it far better than us. We get over emotional about things, we think about it forever, and I would say just get it over and done with, and if something is bothering you, talk about it and get it over and done with, and have more fun and enjoy life, because before you get where I am and you think, wow, I should have enjoyed things more and I should have had more fun and enjoy life, because I think life is there to enjoy, and to enjoy it with people you love. And in the workplace, enjoy the people you're with and love the people you're with, because you can't always be where you want to be, but while you're there, love the people you're around, and make sure that they are happy, because you can make a difference in people's lives every day. And be soft on the people you're with, because I think we sometimes are not, and we should do that more.
Get the best out of people.
Yes.
What is your proudest achievement?
Personally or in business?
Both.
I think personally my proudest achievement is I had cancer when I was 30, and I think to not take that up and think, what am I going to do, and serious, I think I'm going to die with cancer. I just took it in my stride and I said, I will get over this. I think it was something that I was very nervous. But you get over that and you just say, I will make it, because my mom died of cancer. And it was something that I really took on too serious. But I overcome that, and I'm very proud of that. In my work life, I think to be the CEO of this company, it was fantastic. I was so afraid of it, but I think I had so many people around me that was proud of me, and it's a wonderful, wonderful opportunity. And I hope that I'm good at this, and I believe that I will be a good leader.
Excellent, thank you. So how has your life experience made you the leader you are today, do you think?
I think if I just have to reflect, I've always been someone who perseveres. If I just look at my background, raised in a single parent home with my mom, and she really got us to just work hard. And it's never killed anyone, and I'm still here today. So I think for me, hard work is definitely something as a core value that's made me a leader that I am today.
Okay. Do you think women lead differently?
I definitely think so.
Okay. How do they lead differently, do you feel?
I think women have a uniqueness about themselves. You know, I think they're very comfortable exposing themselves without feeling that without feeling that element of I'm giving away too much. Whereas when you look at a male, you know, and without being too sexist at this point in time, you find that egos come in the way quite a bit. And I think a woman just remains very true to herself. And when people, staff, clients, etc., see a level of genuineness, I think that really resonates for them a lot more.
They respond more to it.
Yes.
Yeah. How do you feel being a woman has made you a better leader?
I think it's the journey of emotional maturity, and you know, you think you know everything in your early 20s, and then when you get into your 30s, it's really when you actually start discovering yourself as a woman and the contribution that you can actually make. You realize that you juggle so many things and still have the capability to do so many things, you know.
So that in fact is actually my next question. How do you maintain a work-life balance, juggling all the roles that you have as a woman?
Well, I think thriving under pressure is something I do very well. Okay. So that's kept me going for the number of years I've been in the corporate world. But I think more to that than that, I have a very deep spiritual life. Okay. And that really keeps me grounded. So I think with that and having my family, I really am able to strike a good balance. And yeah, that's me.
Excellent. What do you think is the biggest challenge for women in the workplace?
I think the first point, and I probably mentioned it earlier when you asked me an earlier question, was I think people view women as being emotional beings, you know, and that we think with our heart. But if you really have to look at when most conversations and most decisions are made, it is made when you start with the heart. So I really do believe that the challenge a woman faces is the very thing that's actually her greatest strength. Okay. And you overcome it, you know, and people have actually been able to see that the emotional quotient that a woman actually has plays a bigger role in a team that's quite diverse, or you have a nice split with male and female. So I think it really contributes well.
Okay. How has mentorship made a difference in your professional life? Have you had mentors who've guided you? Have you mentored others?
Yes, I've had the fortunate opportunity of being mentored. So in my earlier career, I was mentored by, I had a life coach.
Okay.
And that was quite nice because we looked at goals, 3 goals, and 2 of them were business and 1 was personal. And I think that's really nice because it gives you that balance. When you normally think of a coach, the first thing you think about is with the business hat. But a life coach really helps you get through so many things in life because you are a whole being after all. And I think in terms of mentorship for people, that's really the advice I've been able to give to many people that I've worked with and managed through the years, is that look at your life holistically, not just in the work sense, because I think that's what really can make you be very successful in all aspects of your life.
And do you approach your life quite holistically, or do you try and separate to a large extent your home and your work life?
I think there'll always be an element of separating the two. But I think the closer one can draw them together is also when you are able to really operate genuinely. Because I think if you are in touch with what's going on at home, and let's be honest and face it, is that we have problems when we wake up in the morning. We know that something might not be right. There's children, there's financial things that we need to consider, and you've got to come here and put a smile on your face and just be great. And I think women have that exceptional quality, that sometimes you don't really see the pain and hurt that's behind one's eyes. So I do believe that the women have that ability, to be able to take all of it on and still maintain both. But again, I think to your question is, the closer one can bring those together, I think it's good. But there's definitely a place for keeping them apart as well.
I think that it makes it easier, perhaps, to have a work-life balance.
Yes.
Which other female leaders do you admire and why?
The one that comes first to my mind would obviously be my mom, and she's just a leader in the real sense of leadership, character and values in my mind, and for many reasons. Obviously being a single parent, and for the woman that she is today, she's persevered so much, and she's studied. She's never stopped studying. She's still busy with theology. And prior to this, she was busy with her MBA. And she's still working at the dear age that she is right now. And she's always pushing, So when I look at her, I just think, well, how can I sit here complaining at my age that I can't do this and I can't do that? She's independent, she runs her own home, and still very much a family woman. When I think of her, I think of so many keywords. There's humility. There's love, there's passion, there's a deep sense of faithfulness, there's gratitude, there's definitely perseverance, great integrity, and great depth in her life. And I think those for me are values that have kept me true to who I am today.
Those are fantastic values to aspire to. What do you want to accomplish personally and professionally in the next year?
Well, just bordering on the 3rd month here at Europ Assistance, I think it would be really to stabilize our business. I think having gone through so many changes in the last 6 to 8 months in Europ Assistance as a group, I think we need to now start settling and start settling our people, because when people are settled and they have a sense of direction and know what we're wanting to achieve, we can just get more from them. I think keeping people engaged about our strategy, our vision, our financial targets, instilling a high performance culture in our people, but also letting them know that we really, really live by our brand promise of you love, we care, not only to our customers, but also to our people. I think that for me is enough to keep me busy for the next year. Personally, I'm busy with my psychology, so that's still a long journey. And we've just moved into our new home. That's also about 2 months. So
lots
it would be
of change.
Yes, lots of change. So I think if you want change and you want to know anything about change, come knock at my door. And I'm happy to share with the people, how one actually can cope with all of that, because it was really a lot in the midst of a drought exams as well and past. So
congratulations.
Thank you. And I didn't think I would, but I think again it's that perseverance, being faithful and being true to yourself that really just stood out all the time, and you succeed. And I'm here today, sitting here having this conversation and sharing with you, and hopefully it inspires other people that really the sky is the limit.
Do you think change through your life has equipped you to deal well with change or deal better with change?
I certainly think so. I sit here today and we're behind a desk that looks fairly cozy and comfortable, and when people look at you they think, well, this is where I want to be.
Mm-hmm.
But the journey to get you was not easy.
Yeah.
So I too started off where I was taking a taxi, and I had to go to classes. I even used a taxi to get to work.
Yeah.
For still most of my very early corporate life I didn't own a car.
Mm.
And eventually when I did, it was the greatest achievement for me. There's so many things that came, obstacles that you had to overcome, relationships that didn't go well, that you still are able to believe in love today, and realize that, okay, if there was one failure, there's something just ahead of you that you can look forward to that's going to make you successful. So I really do think it's about have a plan, but live in the now and really enjoy it. Because if you always think about the 10 steps ahead, you'll never enjoy the moment that you're really in, with your work, with your family, with your friends, because all those things are important to you.
Yes.
And I think as a woman, you will see if someone is not easily completely fulfilled, because you'll see that the balance seems a bit more, not completely in equilibrium for that matter. But I think it's not just women only, Laura. I think it's just people in general, and we forget sometimes. We think that if we push work harder, that it'll make us happier. If we focus on our family, it'll make us happier. I think there's just all these components that I look at the 5 sort of fingers and on my palm, and I think that those things actually those 5 elements make up a person. So one's got to take care of all of them in order to be happy.
To be a whole human being.
Yes, for sure.
What advice or inspiration would you give to women and people in general? I mean, I think you have.
Yeah. Make every day count. Look at people who've done great things. Find someone that inspires you, and look at lessons that they've gone through in their life and see if that works for you. There's so much help out there to make our lives successful. We don't really need to go and seek and find new ways. It's about finding something that works for you and understanding that each and every woman is so unique, and you have a valuable contribution to make, not only in your business, but in your family life, in your social life, in your spiritual journey, So I think it's really about finding meaning, finding your purpose, and living by it, but living it every day and making every day count. So find the 10 things that you need to keep you happy, and 10 might sound like a long list, but find what it is that keeps you happy on a daily basis, and I rest assure you'll meet the goals that you want to achieve for your life's journey.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.